I always struggle with videos like this, and one of the reasons why is because it's always difficult to pull a parent apart and show some of the unhealthy, dysfunctional behaviors that they engage in that creates a lot of challenges. Parents are wonderful when they are healthy, when they are dedicated to developing their children and helping their children survive. I have a wonderful mother. My father's a whole other story, but my mom is wonderful. She has been walking with the three of us, my two brothers and I, for years, hand in hand, and we love her for that. But there are some parents who don't even want to acknowledge that they are making mistakes in the parent-child relationship, that they need to grow and mature, that their child isn't getting the love that they need. So in today's video, I'm going to cover learning to be okay with pointing out that you have an unhealthy or poor parent. In that process, I also want to give you some knowledge of why it's hard for you and most people in the nation to accept that they have a poor parent. But before we jump in, let me briefly introduce myself in case you're new. My name is Tamara. I'm an internationally and board certified trauma therapist. I'm licensed in mental health, and I specialize in treating children, teens, and families, as well as adults who are dealing with trauma. Let's jump in. So, one of the things that I struggle with as a therapist is highlighting the many reasons for why we as a society believe that we should praise our parents, do anything our parents want us to do, and be, all around good kids when that parent is abusive, dysfunctional, unhealthy, traumatizing, maybe even struggling with alcoholism or alcohol dependency. Maybe they are engaging in an illegitimate, unhealthy lifestyle like pimping and thugging, or maybe they are cold-hearted, prejudiced, racist. Whatever the issue, we are still taught in this nation to embrace our parents and respect them. While I do truly love good parents, I have to say that I don't think parents who are harmful deserve that level of respect, because really what's happening is you're bringing that child into the world, and while you're doing that, and while you're providing for basic needs, the emotional and psychological health of the child is not of importance. They're being neglected, they're being abused, they're being manipulated, and that isn't okay. But let me highlight, before we jump into the reasons why it's difficult to accept that your parent is dysfunctional or unhealthy, let me go into kind of what these kind of unhealthy and dysfunctional parents look like. So the first thing that you are likely to see with a sociopathic or narcissistic parent is the act of instilling fear, guilt, and shame. These kind of parents are skilled at instilling fear, shame, and guilt in children. And the way they do that is either by, bullying the child, being a very overbearing parent, and I mean far exceeding a helicopter parent. And you may have an individual who has a personality disorder that gets some kind of stimulation from instilling fear, and even in their own child. They may do things that is really hard for us to understand, like engage in sexually abusing the child, beating a sibling right in front of you in hopes that that would scare you into being a different child. You may also get some grooming behaviors where that parent just kind of grooms you with money and opportunities and, experiences. And then as soon as you trust them and get comfortable, they manipulate you, sexually abuse you, or do something else that crosses the boundary. And so we are hardwired in our brain neurologically to desire love from our parent, mom and dad, right? And so when we don't get that, then we have a situation where we are now being destroyed by that poor attachment style. And so then we learn over time, as we develop as children, adolescents, and young adults, that we are not worthy of love because we never got that as a child. So the whole idea that, parents are everything, family is everything, stay close to your parent no matter what, comes from the school of thought or the idea that parents are important. And I think Harlow's experiment kind of showed that the iron monkey with the food was only there to help the monkeys with their basic needs. But at the end of that, they would always run to the warm parent, the compassionate parent. And so the whole world basically has a mentality that says, parents are everything and you're not to ever go against them. And while, again, I respect really good, loving and caring parents, parents are not always warm. They're not always compassionate. And they do what the iron monkey did, which is provide for basic needs. But other than that, that's all they do. So keep that in mind, that there is some research that suggests that, people look favorably upon the idea that parents are always warm and compassionate, and that is not always the truth. Now, the next thing is the whole cultural and social idea that parents are everything, that family is everything. And I talk right here up in this video about toxic family dynamics, and I really try to correct some skewed thoughts that we have about families and parents. And I really tried to highlight that family is not everything. It's a blessing. It's wonderful. It's great when it's great. But if you have a family that's unhealthy, if you have a family that is not okay, then you need to run. And that's the same thing when it comes to parents. You might get blamed for everything from these parents. You're to blame for the parent being an alcoholic because you're too difficult to raise and deal with. You're to blame because you flunked out of school and you never put your mind to anything and accomplish it. You're to blame for why they can't get a good job and keep a good job. You're to blame for why their relationship failed. You are to blame completely. There is no accountability on the part of the parent. They blame you. Another thing is callousness and lack of empathy. They don't have the ability to provide you with that comfort and security that you need as their adult child, as their adolescent. And so, they kind of soak up all the affection and attention for themselves and completely ignore you. So I think it's important to keep in mind that our interpretation of parents is usually through rose-colored glasses. And that's because that's how we've been taught to see parents, right? So our interpretation of what they should be is what kind of keeps us stuck and lost. And so therefore, we can't accept that our parent is unhealthy, or in general, our parent is unhealthy, because we have been indoctrinated by the thoughts that family is everything, and children need good parents, children love their parents, and being attached to that interpretation and that perception can really keep you stuck. The next thing I want you to consider is, we really have a hard time accepting that our parents can be inconsistent. And there's not a lot of research that talks about sociopathic or psychopathic or narcissistic parents. And so there you are experiencing a very different parent, and you're not able to find research or videos to back that up. So then you just stay stuck in this holding cell that, I better get along with my parent or else. And that really can make you feel stuck. Now, there's also complex emotional patterns in unhealthy parents, which makes it hard for you to accept that this is your parent, right? If you have a parent with roller coaster emotions or switchable moods, it's really hard for you to walk away, because one minute they're good and loving and the next minute they are not, right? So that keeps you in this limbo of confusion. We also tend to compare our lives with other people, and comparison keeps us stuck, right? Well, she has a mother, why can't I? His mother went to his wedding, why did mine, or why can't mine, right? That family over there just came back together after years of estrangement, why can't mine? And so when we compare, we keep ourselves stuck in a place where we shouldn't be, right? So I always tell my clients this: keep your eyes set on your own lane, because you don't know what was going on in the next person's lane, right? Imagine sitting at a red light and somebody's in the car next to you. Instead of looking over into their car to see what's going on over there, stay in your particular lane, because we don't know what's really going on over there. It may look good, but it doesn't mean it's good, right? So these are all the things that I think a lot of children of narcissistic and sociopathic and psychopathic parents deal with. It's a whole bowl of chaos. I'm certainly going to come back and continue with this topic with you, so stick around. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button and bell button, as well as that thumbs up button. It really helps the video get to the top of the search result. I'll let you know when I post things on my channel. I can't talk today. So I will see you in the next video very soon. Bye-bye.